Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good
Thanks to
morning.
Nicholas. Thanks to Nicholas, we may have the youngest viewer of Coffee with Carl today.
Yeah, my wife tagged me with baby Diddy. She's about a week and a half year old. So,
Man, how awesome is that?
oh yeah,
Congratulations.
What a treat.
thank you.
What a treat. What a treat.
Well, my apologies. She should be quiet for us.
Well, even if not, that would be music to my ears.
Yeah, I love that sound, the little ones. Then they grow
Yes,
up.
I do. I really do.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. We got a couple of people jumping on. It gives us just 20 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome. Happy Friday, March 4th. Can we believe it's already March?
No.
It sounded like, it felt like February lasted 4 or 5 days, but we are on it in March. So glad to have y'all. Hey, it's National Pound Cake Day. So grab some pound cake for the day and celebrate. I do want to know, like, who keeps this repository of days of the year? Like, you know, it's almost like the people that make up colors at Crayola and the folks that make up national days share offices, are like one up each other all the time. It's amazing. Anyway, but it is Pound Cake Day. Lots going on. Another good week here at the chamber, so we appreciate that. But lots going on, especially the Ukraine stuff has gotten crazy, and the desperation tactics, I guess, of Putin and bombing the nuclear facility, and it's sad. It really is just deplorable. So, which is having significant impact on the economy, if you will. You know, the Fed's getting ready to raise rates, which is probably a good thing to slow the economy down a little bit. They were looking at going up 0.5 point or even 3/4 point. But now with the skirmish over in Ukraine, gas prices are hitting all-time high. I mean, $5 a gallon is what they're calling for on average in the United States. My wife has an SUV, and it was not fun filling up last week. So, but we are going to see the pain at the pumps will continue for the foreseeable future. So fill up today, because it's going to be higher tomorrow and higher the next day. So anyway, but that will also impact the Fed and their rates. I think 3/4 point is a bridge too far now. So I think you'll see in the next few days the rates go up probably 0.5 point, which means borrowing costs go up. Banks are happy because they're finally be able to make some money. But you know, the Federal Reserve, if they go up 0.5 point, will be the largest increase since 2005, and they haven't raised rates since 2018. Ledbetter, he was. I thought he was raising his hand to talk.
I think he was, and then someone just pulled him away.
See you, Tom. Anyway, I do think it'll be interesting to see what happens next couple of weeks. Let's talk about big picture South Carolina. Big week this week in the General Assembly. The House finally adopted their income tax bill unanimously, and it's gone over to the Senate. But that lowers the rate from 7 to 6.5, and then reduces it over a few more years down to 6. The Senate, as they adopted in the full Finance Committee, a bill that goes from 7 to 5.5. But more importantly, it's a one-time tax rebate to taxpayers and a minimum of $100 back to everybody, even if you didn't file taxes or not. So we'll see. That's still got to be debated on the floor and sent over to the House. But election year politics is amazing. What happens? It's just interesting. I'll just say that. I'm not cynical by any stretch of the imagination, but anyway, hey, Tom, you just came back. You had your hand raised. You good?
No, I'm here by myself, and I had somebody walk in. I was telling them to hang on while I'm muted. All right.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention. I'm glad to have you. So General Assembly working tax bills, which is great. And we got one more week of the Ways and Means where the House takes up the full budget on the floor. So that'll be free for all next week. No, week after next. Anyway, big news in the upstate this week. Congratulations to BMW, the largest plant in the BMW family, just got 200 million bigger, $200 million worth of investment bigger, and 200 jobs, but really excited for them. That, let me tell you, talking about a economic boom in 1992, they announced that facility, and BMW's put $12 billion into that facility. And the repercussions of that have been felt all over the state. Not only are we seeing the growth along the 85 corridor, which is unprecedented and unsustainable, but it also helps the port, which is why we've seen the growth of the port, which is why we see traffic congestion in Columbia, because of a lot to do with the port. And why Adam Vance cusses at the trains all the time is because those rail cars shipping BMWs down the port. So it's all money. You just have to remember that when you get stopped by one of those trains there, Adam, that's tax dollars coming in. So anyway, had a had a really good meeting this week at our issues committee, and if you missed it, it's on our website. Maybe somebody could throw it into the chat box from staff, but we had the 3 new members of the Columbia City Council join us: Dr. Oddity Bustles, Tina Herbert, and Joe Taylor, which was very insightful for a couple reasons. One, we talked a lot about the economy and business because we are a chamber, so the focus was around business issues. But Joe could have easily, Councilman Taylor, excuse me, could have easily taken over, but he deferred a lot to Tina and Oddity, which was great. The camaraderie was there. There are obviously some difference of opinions, but they have handled it very, very well. I don't think you'll see some. Not all boards and commissions around Columbia have always dealt with matters behind the scenes. Some tend to bleed over into public venues. I don't see that happen with this city council, which is good. Very, very, I mean, collectively, I'm impressed with the intellect and their ability to ask good questions and think differently. We touched on that last week a little bit, last 2 weeks in here, but they are looking at solving some problems. Kudos to them this week. On Tuesday afternoon, they announced the Pathways unit with the Columbia Police Department, which is it's embedding mental health professionals in with police officers. So when you have a domestic or a dealing with a homeless person, you don't need 2 cops or 3 cops. Having somebody sent with mental health expertise certainly could help save some taxpayer resources and put police where they need to go. So I thought that, and they were using ARPA funds, which is the American something Recovery Act, whatever that ARPA stands for. But anyway, ARPA money, they're using that to pay for the Pathways unit, which has been very successful in Richland County. I know Sheriff Lott has been doing this for the last few years, as putting mental health facilities in with his officers, which is good stuff. Couple things to note what the city's doing. If anybody has a rental property, you have a license and you have to renew that every year. And so they are giving amnesty to those that have not renewed their rental license. So if you apply and pay forward, they're not going to penalize you looking back. So that's a good thing. That's rental. There needs to be some level of regulatory oversight in rentals, and so that's just part of the process, which is good. We've talked about this before, but the fact that they're looking at efficiencies in the red tape and making it easier to do business with Columbia is very good. And I think the city has done a good job already in the first couple months of this administration in doing that. So we mentioned this, but they've added call center. They're getting 1,200 calls a day. That is crazy. So logically, they said, when are we getting the most calls? Let's track that. And so they're actually increasing staff during peak times. It's a no-brainer. That's what business people do all the time, right? So glad to see that they're taking some increasing efficiencies. How's that? Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes and I don't have my glasses on. But they are adding people to call centers. They're hopefully turning those tickets around quicker. So I'm impressed. All right, I'm gonna leave it to some of y'all. Otherwise, it's been kind of quiet. We've seen a bunch of small businesses, restaurants opening, which is great to see. I really am hoping that we can get some high-paying jobs coming in here soon. I know there's a couple folks snooping around looking at maybe increasing things or bringing jobs to Columbia. More to come on those if they happen. But I think there's, we've success breeds success, and we talked about the announcement effect the last couple of weeks of things churning in Columbia. I think we are actually seeing some positive signs of that. I need y'all to put this on your calendar. Don't forget, the 19th of this month is the 40th anniversary of the St. Pat's Day down at 5 Points. They're going to have a big celebration down there, so we'd love to see everybody turn out. And Rich Odell's favorite band, Blues Travelers, playing. So everybody come out and see Blues Traveler Saturday night. That'll be fun. And a big weekend this week for those baseball fans like Adam Jones. Since he can't watch Major League Baseball, you can watch, and it's not the CFC today this weekend, but it's Carolina Clemson this weekend. The scratch match, whatever they call those things. But I guess tonight at Founders, tomorrow night at Segra, and then Sunday night in Greenville. So rivalry week here. And all right, last thing, which is kind of interesting where we are today in Biden's State of the State this week. It was 1933, March 4th, 1933. FDR got inaugurated his first election, and he announced the New Deal in 1933 on March 4th. I think it's phenomenal because we are looking at all these, thanks Chuck, American Rescue Plan dollars, and it's basically a New Deal type of package, right? And it gives states the ability to do things that they normally wouldn't do, but it's to stimulate the economy, which is exactly what the New Deal was. So I guess 89 years ago today. So anyway, with that, I will open it up, see what y'all got going on. Let me hear what's happening in your business, good, bad, things that y'all need everybody to know about.
Hey, Carl, we got good news this morning. The CDC lowered the Richland County community ranking from high transmission to medium, and that changes a lot of things.
Sweet. There were a lot of back and forth this week on social and in some public hearings on school masking, and especially with states like California and New York and other places easing the restrictions, and we still got them. So that's actually great news. So thanks. I missed that this morning.
Hey, Rich, this is Doug at Tyson. We do right now, the company is looking at removing masks on lower medium, but is it true that Richland County extended their mask mandate for 60 days, or is that not true? Anybody know?
They did extend it to April 1st. They took that action on Tuesday. That doesn't mean they can't come back and do something, especially if the lower the risk, but there are thresholds too. So Doug, I'll check on that because but they did reinforce that mask ordinance this week.
Yeah, so once that gets to lower medium, the plant here we've got everything into effect to remove mask. And anytime it goes back to high, then we put them back on. That's how close it'll be, and we'll look at that weekly. But let me know, Carl. I appreciate it, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Rich, for that. All right, that's good. That's great news. Adam Vance.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Adam Vance here. Carl, I wanted to add on to what you were saying about the Carolina Clemson baseball weekend. It is upon us in Founders Park tonight. Tomorrow at Sager Park, our events division will be working. It's called Fan Fest. And actually from 12 to 4, it'll be Tokyo Joe playing on a large stage that we'll install. We'll have a large PA system out there. They'll have food trucks, bars. It's in the plaza in front of the stadium. So if anybody went 2 years ago, it was the first Battle at Bull Street that they called it, put on by Experience Columbia and Sager Park and the Fireflies. From 10 a.m. to 12 noon, we'll be prepping it on 107.5 The Game, and SNI will sponsor the radio show and just try to generate some excitement because I know everybody in the state either goes one way or the other. Once 4 o'clock actually hits, that's game time. People can go in the stadium that have tickets, of course, and they can stay outside in the plaza. We'll also have a large 17-foot by 10-foot video wall, and the stadium is going to give us a feed to put the game up outside in the plaza. And for those of you that I'm working on commercial installations for, we are hard at work across the hall on that right now. We've got some projects going. So anyway, hope to see everybody out there tomorrow. Knock on wood, the weather's supposed to be good. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Adam. All right, what else? I'm trying to read. I'm not good at trying to do 2 things at one time, but anyway, sorry, I was trying to read the chat box. What else we got? I'm gonna have to call on people. I'm gonna call on new people today.
Hey, Carl, this is Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Let me chime in and give a shout out to Leadership Columbia. They're in here. They're well organized. I mean, they're not messing around. They've got plans and they've got teams, and they're helping us. They're painting most of our day center, not all the high parts, but they've painted higher than I thought they were going to go. And they're a nice blue color. I'm not the big fashion color guy, but
Come on.
heck, I don't really know, but it does look better, and the clients are happy, and I think everybody's happy. So they're painting the day center, they're painting the adult daycare facility. They're going to put in a basketball court. I don't know how many times we've tried to put in a sort of it's really court's kind of misleading. It's think of your basketball hoop on a driveway kind of thing, a pad with a pole. But that's some physical activity for our clients who generally don't do anything physical. And I think the basketball, particularly with the youth group, will be a good add-on. So we're excited. We're really thankful to the Chamber and Leadership Columbia for picking us this year. It took a little while to get that, but hey, it's better late than never, and we are grateful. And they're doing a great job. So thank you there to all those folks.
Absolutely. I think this is the 47th year, 47th year of Leadership Columbia projects. And they've done a phenomenal job. And this class is a great class, but I love looking back and seeing the impact they've had on the community and doing different service projects. So thanks. Glad it worked out, Craig, and appreciate the shout out to leadership.
Carl.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, sir. Good morning to all. Hey, I'd like to shout out to Sager Park as well. They're hosting on next Thursday 2 high school baseball programs, both junior varsity and varsity, and it's the Swansea High School baseball program versus the Saluda High School baseball program. Rarely do you have, schools in those divisions get exposure in facilities like a Sager Park. So shout out to them for hosting those 2 high school programs.
Hey, thanks. That's awesome. Good stuff. All right. I see all these alums going at it, which is fun. Hey, Mary Margaret.
Yeah, hey, Mary Margaret here with Easter Seals, South Carolina. This is my first coffee with Carl's. This is so much fun. Thanks for having me. Easter Seals is actually looking for recommendations this morning. We're looking to host a meeting in May for all of our staff, and we're looking for a speaker. We'd love to for someone to be able to talk about, either time management or, just a mental health kind of aspect to it. So if you have any recommendations, please feel free to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat. Thanks.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. There was a question by the Honorable Adam Jones, whether or not it was going to be a CFC game with Carolina this year. Not this year. In fact, Carolina is passing on. They got beat a couple years ago, so they don't like playing CFC much. They did play Clemson. Clemson won 2-1 early. I think it was the second game of the season. But anyway, Gamecock Cougars are not on this year. Answer that question. Maybe next year, right? All right. All right. Who else we got?
Hey, Carl. This is Eli with Defender Firearms and Training.
Hello, Eli. Good morning.
Good morning. You mentioned that the city or state was trying to do some things with, to assist people that own rental properties. Has there been any talk about changing the tax percentage from the 6% for those people that own rental properties?
Well, that is such a landmine, Eli. Yes, there's been discussion, especially for those like myself. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, that law changed when they changed Act 388 passed in 2006, 2007. It transformed the way that property taxes were and schools were funded, and it is a thorny, prickly. It's like the biggest bowl of pasta you've ever seen. Like you can never find the end. And yes, I think that at some point they'll look at whether or not rental properties will be taxed somewhat differently than the 6% commercial rate, but it's got a long way to go. And so you and I can sit and chat about it, but it is convoluted, and there are lots of communities in South Carolina that have greater number of rental properties than, like, we have a ton here in Columbia because of universities, but our demographics are different. So it's not necessarily the same in Greenville. So the percentages are different for everybody as it relates to coming back to taxes. So there's a huge economic impact if you switch that up. And so then how do you fund that? And who catches it? So good question. It is so convoluted. I'll tell you what, if it was easy, it would have been fixed 2006, 2007, actually well before that. But it is a mess. And there's arguments right now in the Senate. I'm glad you brought this up. And Sean Bennett, one of my favorite senators in South Carolina, he's a pragmatist. He's a business owner. He thinks we shouldn't pass any tax breaks this year, but we need to do comprehensive tax reform, which is exactly what you're talking about. What it would take to do that is a comprehensive rebuild of our tax code, because we actually exempt more taxes than we actually collect in South Carolina. So if we just rethought how we did things, we would always, I think we would all see a little bit of savings. But anyway, good question. I'm sorry I didn't answer it very well.
Oh, no, that was fine. That was fine. Thank you.
It is, that will make you pull your hair out, and you don't have a whole lot of it. So, all right, what else we got? All right, am I going to have to call on some other folks today?
Earl, I would like to share that on behalf of military and our outreach group that we do have Lieutenant General Gervais here this weekend. She is from TRADOT, so she is General Michaelis's top boss, and they are here promoting ROTC units. They're going to be throughout the community and state. She's a graduate of Lander, so they're going to be throughout the community talking about careers in the Army. And I am proud to say that our partners, the Fireflies, are going to allow her to throw out the first pitch tomorrow at the Carolina Clemson game. She's been practicing for weeks. She was a baseball team player, and they're also going to be swearing in several new recruits into the U.S. Army. So should be an even greater affair to have her there. She's going to be, around town doing a lot of visits to just see what she can find out about how great an American defense community we are and all the programs that we have going here. So thank you all for supporting her in all your various ways. She'll be out and about, and hopefully you'll run into her at some point.
She's a lieutenant general, so she's earned her stripes, but a Greenwood native, Greenwood High and Lander University. So South Carolinian done well. Good for her. But what a glutton. I mean, do you know the pressure you're under to throw out the first pitch? I mean, good for her.
She said she would not dribble that ball. So I have faith in her. I think it's going to be a hard swing.
I mean, you got to throw it from the mound, right? You can't shortchange it and go. Anyway, there's pressure. Good for her. I don't know how I would do that. Okay, Nicholas, she woke up.
Yeah, she definitely woke up. Mama was up all night, so Mama said, "I'm sleeping. You take the baby. I don't care what you got going on." So here I am.
Hey, we're glad to have you. Everything good for work-wise?
Yeah, well, so I guess it's an opportunity for me to kind of share who I am. I haven't joined the meeting before, but I am also a member of the chamber. So I'm a cybersecurity company here. I actually have an office in Lexington. I'm a DoD contractor. We've got some really cool things going on in our line of work. Of course, we're very, very busy. It never ends for us. But we're actually working on designing an instant messaging solution that's a collaborative tool. It's a secure solution. And I guess it's a good opportunity to talk about it. It interacts with Office 365 using 365 applications. It's a secure collaborative tool that we use. Basically, everybody's worried about their information getting out there. So this type of tool runs independently on the systems. And you can have a full-blown conversation back and forth, do all the collaborative project management things you want to do, and no one ever can see your movement across the network, can't see your traffic, can't see your data. So some really neat things that we do with keyless encryption as well as part of it. So it's encrypted and containerized. So really neat thing that we're developing as an innovative tool, among many other things. I thought was just one of our new ones in our lab. But you'll see more of us as we kind of get a little bit bigger. So haven't been doing this for too long. We just started in June of last year, so we're kind of new in the circle, but we'll be more engaged here over the next few months.
Hey, well, listen, welcome. We're glad to have you, and thanks for bringing your new daughter with us today too. That's what a treat that is. So appreciate it. Yeah, hope you and your wife get some sleep next month, maybe.
Maybe next month or two down the road, but we'll get there.
Yeah, congratulations. That's great stuff. All right, we're closing in on time, so I want to be respectful of y'all's time, but what a fun morning this has been. Y'all enjoy. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Get out, enjoy it, get some yard work done or not, but thanks for being with us. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. Take care. Appreciate it. See y'all soon.